Hello, my name is Ali Goldhamer, and welcome to vlog entry number 2. Today is the 6th day that we are in Lithuania. I'm going to go over a little bit about the post-memory as well as my experience with the veterans from the Soviet war in Afghanistan. So I'm going to start off with a quote. Post-memory specifically describes the relationship of children of survivors of cultural or collective trauma to the experience of their parents. So I talked to Peter, and I asked him if he ever talked about the war with his children, and he said that he never talked about it with them. They only asked one question, and it was, how many people did you kill? And that was when they were very young, so it was very innocent. And I just want to go off of this, that it's post-memory is so strong that Peter didn't feel as though his child should be looking at the pictures, because he did have pictures, but didn't want to show it to him. So my next quote is, post-memory is a powerful form of memory precisely because its connection to its object or source is meditated not through recollection, but through representation, projection, and creation, often based on silence rather than speech, on the invisible rather than the visible. Peter told his story, and he was very open about it, which I was really happy about. I was surprised. But he told his story, and then I asked, well, did you have any pictures, or did you keep any pictures of yourself? And his eyes lit up, he got very excited, and he took us over to the wall and showed us his picture. And before, he didn't say anything about his ranking or anything like that, and it turns out he was a sergeant, so he was pretty high up. And then we got into stories about how he stayed up at night with his one buddy from Ukraine, and they sang songs to stay up at night, and he wouldn't have ever said that or brought it up if it wasn't for that picture. So that was really cool. And then he also showed us another picture of his base, of where he actually was. And that was really cool because it showed where he was, and he can tell us what it is, but we're not going to really know what he's talking about until he sees it, 'cause that's one of those things you kind of have to see. So that was really cool. And then he was telling us what his part was, so he had a special gun that he shot, and that was really cool. And another quote is, oral or written testimony, like photography, leaves a trace, but unlike writing, the photograph of the footprint is an index par excellence, pointing to the presence, the having been there, of the past. That was the same thing. Looking at those pictures, you can definitely tell that he was there, and he was definitely proud. I mean, he held the picture to his heart, so it was very special to him. That was really cool. And post-memory is hard, but we asked him, like, when you're looking at these pictures, do you feel the same things you felt about the war? And he said, well, I'm used to these pictures, and he didn't think much of those pictures. But you could tell that he wasn't going to show a lot of the pictures of himself and his experiences to his children because they'd be too strong for them. And post-memory I think is even better than stories, just because you can tell. Anything from the war, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to see it in my mind the same way he does. So that's a really special bond that we had. And even though we talked about the war and everything like that, that was very serious, we also talked about other things. So we talked about how he met his wife, which that was really cool. We talked about his kids and their aspirations. And he was very comfortable talking with us and through the translator, and he answered a ton of questions, serious or not. I really appreciated that. And at the end, he gave me a sticker, and that was really special. That melted my heart. I was surprised that he gave me a sticker, and it said the Union of the Veterans of the Soviet War in Afghanistan. So that was really cool. So that's basically how I perceive post-memory and my experience with Peter, the veteran from the Afghanistan and Soviet War. Thank you.